So in this video we are going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 12 of the series, and in the last episode we saw the start of a pretty major part of this series, and that is the Baikalian conquests into Europe. We saw Crimea and Green Russia get invaded in the last episode. If you do end up enjoying this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We have hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to say thank you guys all for that. I guess our next goal is 2,000, I guess, but yeah, any support is greatly appreciated. And let's begin the video. So the first thing I want to go over is I have updated the provinces and the major cities map. If you want to see me do this live, then make sure to come check out my streams. I also did, this is a major one, I did the names of the nations. Some of these were suggested by the chat. So if you want to, you can have a pause, because I'm not going to go through every single one, obviously, but have a pause so you guys can see what these nations are called. I also did the same for the religious names. This one is called W Englishism, because English donated so much money in the live stream. But anyway, let's get on to the video. So, we're going to be starting out with the trade routes layer, because we have a couple things to update with it. So, first things first. The trade routes that had been planned when these Arabian nations had colonized this Arabian land to avoid having to go through the baikalian trade routes has just completed. It passes through these major cities right here and connects up with the capital of Mesopotamia, which is starting to become quite a big hub for these trade routes, and the Baikal country is kind of getting annoyed about that. To add on to this, we see a trade route come down from the Sinai Peninsula into this Arabian country, across the desert and into Qatar, as well as this Somalian country having more of their land connected, and this Finnish country has had their capital connected up here. To add on to this, we see a connection going kind of through the Alps and connecting up with the capital of Normandy. And in the Baikal country, a pretty big project is started, and that is going to be connecting their European trade route areas with the Asian areas. And this is kind of started after a trade route is built through Korea into the Baikalian Empire. So this is a pretty big project that these guys are working on. But next up, we're going to be moving right along to our religion layer, because a new event is happening that hadn't taken place before, and that is the Baikal country actually starting to forcefully change the religion of this light blue religion. This is something they hadn't previously done. They are now doing it, and this is going to have some pretty negative side effects. Mostly it's just going to be a lot of uprisings in the areas controlled by these guys, and this kind of it sort of loosens their grip on this area over here, especially down in this very southern area where an old country used to exist that is kind of now wanting their independence again. Anyway, moving away from that, we're going to now be looking at the alliance layer, because a new country is actually going to be joining the Square Alliance, and that's actually going to be Rome. So as I said in the last episode, Rome has pretty good relations with Carthage, and now for kind of defense against some enemies out east, they are deciding to fully join the alliance. Now, really quickly, we'll be looking at a little bit more exploration. The South African country, or the Cape country, they're going to discover a lot more of this southern African area, and some more explorations are going to take place into the sub-Saharan area over here. These guys don't really know how far away they are. These people over here, they know that the Europeans are over here, but they really don't know where, so they don't know like how far they need to go. Over here, the Indonesians are going to send out a voyage along the coast of Australia. They discover a really large portion here, like one captain, a very prevalent captain in the Indonesian country. He is going to go and he's going to discover all the way down here to Tasmania. He's then going to keep on going, and after reaching this point, he actually manages to successfully circumnavigate the whole of Australia. This is actually a pretty big naval achievement, and it kind of really shows the advancement of the technology. To add on to this, we see a little bit more exploration into Siberia, as well as into Greenland. But next up, we will of course be doing our Daily Japan update. And this Daily Japan update is going to be a pretty simple one, and that is just going to be that this Chinese island right here, they kind of want independence from China. They're kind of far away, and China is going to go ahead and grant these guys their independence, and they will become this dark blue country right here. Unfortunately for the people living there, though, they are going to be a dictatorship. And yeah, that's it for the Daily Japan update today. A pretty simple one. However, something else kind of happening, although it's not really a Daily Japan update anymore because it's not really in Japan. The Hokkaido country is going to continue on their conquest, now leaving the Kuril Islands and even entering into Siberia. We also see Sweden doing a little bit of expansion into colder areas as they set up a colony over here in Greenland, just like this. But now we're going to be looking at a war taking place. It's been a while since we've had like sort of a big conflict, and that is exactly what we're going to see happening here. So, as we know, these two guys right here are in a struggle for power over the Indian subcontinent. Previously, it had been a struggle for power between this blue guy and this rose pink guy. The blue guy had won, and now the blue guy is focusing on the lime guy. Very creative names here. And they of course want to gain full control over this trade route, as this trade route is basically what is giving these guys all of their power. So the blue country is going to launch an invasion into the lime team. Their main goal is to capture the coastal areas, however they will also focus on getting this major city right here. They will capture this major city just up north as well, and these guys are absolutely rolling, and this is really showing the strength of them. They then quickly move over and take this major city right here. However, down south they do see a sort of pushback. These guys decide to enter into their country. Not too sure why they decide to do this, however it really doesn't last long. And it's getting to the point now where the dark blue team is even entering into the Gujarat Peninsula. However, just as they enter across into the peninsula, the rose pink country, who has just been attacked by them, looking for some revenge, decides why not, and they decide to join the war on the side of the lime team. These guys, who are fueled by revenge, are going to move in and quickly recapture this major city. This land hadn't yet been fully assimilated, so we even see a very small and minor breakaway down here, and this actually allows for the encirclement of some of these troops. These guys will then continue across the whole border, and then these guys will be kicked out of the Gujarat Peninsula. However, now that it's kind of looking up for these guys, we do see something happen that is gonna kind of push the war back to being more even. The Bangladesh country, they decide to join the war. These guys had been, well, before the blue team had attacked the rose pink country, and while they had still been very strong, these guys were really trying to influence and corrupt this country in order to gain influence over it. And these guys are very annoyed about that, and now they think it's time to take their revenge. These guys will quickly cross into the rose pink country, managing to take a major city pretty much straight away, and pretty much immediately these guys are going to fall back over here. We do still see the Gujarat country manage to push back the dark blue guys. However, over here these guys are almost fully pushed out of the dark blue country. These guys will then start an offensive into the rose country, and they will manage to restabilize the front in the lime country and even push back just a little bit. Now, sadly for these guys over here, they're getting sandwiched. The Bangladesh country on their own is about the same strength as them, but with these guys, who are the strongest Indian country, also fighting them, they're really not going to stand a chance at all. These two major cities are captured, and the country is basically just squashed. After this, we see the combined forces of Bangladesh and the blue team blitz straight into the lime team, and before the capital is even captured, these guys, they're not going to fight till the end. They understand that for the better of the people they should surrender, and that is exactly what they're going to do. The lime team surrenders to the blue team. So that was a pretty interesting war, and now let's take a look at this peace treaty. So taking a look at this peace treaty here, we can see that the blue team is really putting some weight on. They have grown loads in power and strength from this war, and you might notice they've actually set up puppet states, and this is because while the blue team is expansionist, they're not stupid. They know if they just completely annexed all of these territories that they wanted, it would cause them a lot of instability. So they decide to just set up puppet states instead. The rose pink country is now on the verge of collapse. The Bangladesh country did get quite a lot out of this. The lime country, they've also fallen off a lot, and now they have to give full control of the trade route to the dark blue country. So yeah, we see the dark blue country sort of on the rise here. Next up, we will be going to the Baikal country, and we will be seeing their shenanigans. The Baikal country will be expanding all the way down south, and now meeting up with the Indian Ocean here. And, well, let's just, yeah, that's not very kind. So, the Baikal country is going to invade straight away after taking that land into Persia. Very sad for Persia. And this is once again showing the expansionist ideology of the Baikal country. And for the final event of this video, we're going to see Somalia do a little bit of expansion. They're going to take Socotra right here, and they're also going to set up a pretty notable colony over here in Yemen. They will also be expanding just a little bit into the mainland of Africa as well. So that is actually going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And thank you to all of our channel superfans. This includes Lasertaze and English Mapper, and another shout out to our recent donators, English Mapper, Coley and Lasertaze. Thank you guys.